podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, show recaps, predictions, sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and we are back live with Sunday Night Scoops. It's been a couple of weeks, guys. Our last show was right before Clash in Italy, so I'm glad to have you guys here. Hope you guys had a good weekend. First off, we want to congratulate the New York Knicks. The last time they won a championship, I wasn't even alive, so definitely got to see history last night. For you sports fans that keep up with all of that, I'm just sharing the post, letting everybody know that I'm live. So it's a lot of stuff to talk about today. Well, not a whole lot, but a pretty good bit. So before we get started, just want to let everybody know that what's going on? Fanatic, good to see you. Yeah, the World Cup's on as well. I haven't really been watching much of it. There's a lot of other stuff going on, but so the weekend of the Night of Champions and Great American Bash, I will be doing a recap for both shows. And Great American Bash is going to be on a Sunday. It's the NXT PLE coming up on the 28th. We will be having a Sunday Night Scoops next Sunday, but the week of the 27th and the 28th, there will not be a Sunday Night Scoop show or an LFG show because the NXT Great American Bash PLE is on the 28th of June on a Sunday. And I believe it either starts at 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern. And so the recap show, well, the PLE is going to be on till about 9 or 10 that night. So I'll just be doing a recap for Great American Bash. I won't be doing a Sunday Night Scoops, and there won't also be an LFG show that week. So just wanted to let you guys know the 28th, June 28th, there will not be a Sunday Night Scoops or an LFG recap, as I'll be recapping Great American Bash Sunday, and then the 27th, I'll be doing the WWE Night of Champions recap show as well. So let's go ahead and get started on the news. A lot of stuff to go over. It's been 2 weeks. A lot's happened. So the last time that we had the show was 2 weeks ago, and it was right before, I believe, the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring started. So one of the biggest things we need to talk about today is the CM Punk stuff. So there was somebody, I'm not sure who posted it on Twitter, X, whatever you guys call it, posted a lot of stuff about Punk. And then people started flooding, not really flooding, but I had several DMs on the Punk situation. I've tried to explain to you guys on the show and the ones that I talk to in personal DMs. You just really can't. People are posting stuff on social media for engagements and for, trying to get, I guess, compensated or something like that from X. There's a lot of engagement farmers out there. I can tell you firsthand that the CM Punk information, I don't have all the information on it, but I can tell you that charger fell out. Sorry, guys. I can tell you that there was stuff that was put on there that's absolutely not true. It was put on there that CM Punk, somebody said something about CM Punk taking a pay cut, or he was asked to take a pay cut. That's definitely not the case. He's the top people that's in the company. They're, they're not going to ask them to take a pay cut. A lot of stuff coming out now. I guess that's WWE's way of trying to rebuke stuff that come out. AJ Lee said on a show today that she's going to be in the Unreal, the next WWE Unreal on Netflix. I can just tell you guys that TKO and WWE pretty much gave AJ Lee when she came back. I told a few people in DMs and some chats and stuff that AJ Lee signed a 1 or 2 year deal. I believe it was a 2-year deal to come back. The deal is pretty much written out like she's a full-time star, but she's going to only have special appearances. I mean, she was definitely booked to win the Intercontinental Championship. So I can tell you that the rumors about Punk and AJ getting asked to take a pay cut is absolutely false. That didn't happen. They're making a ton of money. I know that Punk's making more than what he was making when he first came into WWE. So the people like CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and AJ Lee's and Rhea Ripley's and all them, Liv Morgan's, they're not asking them to take a pay cut. That's just absolutely crazy. There was also something posted on there, or somebody said something about that he was unhappy with AJ's booking. That's also false. She got pretty much everything that she asked for in her contract. So, like I said, WWE's done a good job of rebuking a lot of that stuff. Where you've seen that Punk will be at Fanatics Fest in New York. It all comes down to, he was on TV for a while, up till WrestleMania before he lost the title to Roman. And he's an older guy. At the end of the day, he's in his 50s, I believe. So, these superstars, it's getting so crazy to be on social media now, because people are just, I don't know, these superstars really just, they can't have a personal life, and it's sad. I've seen all the stuff that's been posted about. It's been posted about Liv Morgan. Obviously, it looks like she got engaged. I don't know. I don't know her. I think people are online just really they take these obsession with these people to a new height, and at the end of the day, they don't even know them. So it's sad. I will say that that the CM Punk stuff that was posted, a lot of it is just not true. I don't want to get into the semantics on stuff like that. But a lot of stuff that was reported, it was a lot of people. I don't know. I try to tell you guys in private DMs to stop paying attention to all that stuff. People are posting for engagement and stuff like that. So, if you don't, I mean, he's been off TV for a while, and it could be a lot about creative. He just don't have the creative, and he could just be taken off. Like he's an older guy, so wrestlers do have a personal life, and him and AJ are married. Also, with AJ Lee, it's been on the internet, and it's actually factual information, but she has a mental health, something to do with mental health in her contract as well, which I think a lot of people should do that if they suffer from mental illness and stuff like that. So that's a good thing to have. You see that it's being put in a lot of people's contracts nowadays. But I can tell you Punk's on the way back. Obviously his shirt, new merchandise has come out. There's been several talks about, a lot of the SummerSlam plans for the SmackDown side when it comes to CM Punk and Cody Rhodes is a lot of us dependent on when Randy Orton can come back because the original plans was Cody and Randy out SummerSlam, but they will possibly run CM Punk and Cody if it's necessary to, I've told several people in the DMs, as far as this, we'll kind of dip into the King and Queen of the Ring here shortly. I'm just kind of going through the news. I'll just tell you guys, just you got to be patient with certain things, and just try not to believe everything that's on the internet. People are posting for engagement, and nobody truly knows what's going on in somebody's personal life. So if it's reported that, somebody's having a mental health breakdown, truly they really don't know. That's stuff that's just not revealed. So people have to let these people be they're superstars, and they're, I understand they're professionals, and they're role models to a lot of people, and I get that, but you have to let these people live their life. You can't. The obsession is real. I see on the internet, it's sad. So let's talk about Roxanne Perez. WWE Creative is looking into a big year for Roxanne in 2027 is going to be the biggest year for Roxanne. Triple H is looking to play the long game with Roxanne. So I don't know how much longer they're going to drag this Judgment Day story out, but it looks like it could be a while. Roxanne is definitely going to be the baby face in this situation. It's not going to be Liv. I know a lot of people are hoping for Liv to turn back baby faces. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Roxanne, WWE's, like I said, they're playing the long game with Roxanne. They want Roxanne to be a white meat baby face is what they call them. Something similar to Cody. So we'll see how that plays out with Roxanne, if you're a Roxanne fan. Rhea Ripley, I posted in the chats earlier, she is out for Night of Champions. WWE has went in and taken Rhea off the poster and putting Tiffany Stratton on the poster. Look for Tiffany Stratton to defend the title against Jade Cargill. I know a lot of people are expecting Tiffany and Blake. It's not going to happen at Night of Champions. It's too soon. Tiffany and Blake is more than likely a SummerSlam match. We're not even going to see Blake Monroe on TV until the SmackDown when WWE is in London, and that will be a taped show. The Raw on the 22nd, I believe it is, of June will be in London, and then they'll be taping. I believe they're going to be taping the SmackDown right after that. So that's where you'll see Blake Monroe. Obviously, it won't be on TV till the 26th or something like that, which is the day before Night of Champions. So Blake's not wrestling Tiffany at Night of Champions. You can look for Jade Cargill. It'll be a mixture of either a Jade, a B-Fab, or a Michin going up against Tiffany, but I think it's going to be Jade. So look for Jade and Tiffany. They teased it a little bit Friday. Jade picked the title up. I don't think Jade's going to win the title, but they should put on a good match. I believe that Blake takes the title from Tiffany at SummerSlam. That's the direction they're going with Blake. I don't really care for the booking. She definitely kind of looked like Veer Mahan with the vignettes, but hopefully it pays off as far as everything that's going to go on with her. But look for Blake on. She will be on the SmackDown that's in London. That's her home country, so that's what they're waiting for. I know that she'd been on TV, so they're definitely building Chelsea Green up to be super hot baby face. Eventually, they could do an angle. I could see an angle where they will have Tiffany turn on Chelsea to make her a Savage heel, because Chelsea has a lot of the fan support, and they're definitely pushing her to be a baby face. So let's talk about the Rock situation. I believe last time I was on, I touched on the Nick Khan, all the stuff that he said about WrestleMania 40. All that was absolutely false. Um, so the Rock was had a little health scare. I don't even like reporting and talking about this kind of stuff because if it comes to like health and people getting fired and stuff, I don't really like to report stuff like that. But apparently the Rock had a little bit of a scare. I believe he was on the set of either filming or this was a little while back, but he was a little worried that he had testicular cancer. Um, but everything come back good. So glad to hear that about the Rock. But he did have a little small scare where he thought that something could be wrong, but he's good. There's really nothing changed on the Rock Roman Reigns front. It's it is the match that WWE wants to do at WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. It's still unknown whether that match happens. For me, it does definitely look like they're building towards that. Just talking as a fan at this point in time, because like I said, that kind of stuff is not really leaked out when it comes to The Rock, but I can tell you that they're definitely building towards this. You can see the all the stuff that's going on with the bloodline. You can see Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. We saw Solo get involved in Jay's match, but it's not what everybody thinks. He's they're not going to be he's not going to be joining up with them. So I've seen all the speculation online and all that, but he's not going to be joining up with them. They're going to have. They're definitely building towards War Games. Royce Keys will definitely be, and Royce Keys is definitely going to end up joining up with Solo. It's Triple H and creative. They don't like to do anything that happens really fast. They play the long game with everything, but they're definitely building towards a Rock and Roman. But I guess they kind of have to just in case the match is going to happen. Having Roman, taking control of the family again, and beating some of the people in his family. I don't think he's going to face all of them, but it's going to call. Eventually, I believe if Rock is coming back in the picture, Solo will be the one that makes the call to Dwayne and gets him back involved in the story. That is the original plan for WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. Now, will it happen? I don't know. That's something that I just don't know. It does look like it, but like I said, it's something that is definitely hard to get information on. But it definitely looks like that's the way they're going. So you guys be prepared for that. Rhea Ripley, I mentioned earlier, she's out for Night of Champions. It's unknown how long she's going to be out. So I believe that WWE is letting her off for Night of Champions. They want to get 100% clarification on the knee injury. It is a knee injury. It's unknown anything that has to do with if she's going to have to vacate. I hopefully not. I don't think so. But there's not verification on whether she's going to have to vacate the title. It could be a situation where they're letting her rest up. They only have the Saturday Night's Main Event coming up in July in New York in Madison Square Garden. And then they have SummerSlam. So it could be a situation where that title is not defended again until SummerSlam. That's the best case scenario there with that. Liv Morgan has not defended in over 90 days. And that's because when she won the title, originally planned she was going to run a story back with Stephanie Valcour. She has not returned to television. So that's why Liv has advanced in the Queen of the Ring, because they had to have her something for her to do. tomorrow is less than 2 weeks away from Night of Champions. Could we see Stephanie Valcour? It's a possibility, but Liv doesn't have a match tomorrow, so I don't think it makes any sense. I really truly think that Liv Morgan is gonna go to the finals. That was originally what the plan was. On top, they have two different plans, one for Liv and one for Charlotte. Obviously, the original plan was Charlotte and Io in the finals. I don't know if that happens. Honestly, I don't. I think that WWE is booking something towards Judgment Day, and I don't think that happens. I don't think we get a Liv Io final. What's going on, Ariel? I don't know where Miami is. Probably working. I talked to him earlier, but I'm not sure. Maybe at work. Good to see you though. So I told you guys at the beginning of the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring tournament that a lot of stuff was leaked online. Original plans, several plans have changed when it comes to the King and Queen of the Ring. WWE wanted to throw a curveball. That's why you've seen the Seth Rollins not win. The first round match, Brian Breaker didn't win. It looks like they're really booking towards this Judgment Day stuff. You have Dominic Mysterio in the semifinals. It's definitely difficult to see where they're going with it. I was told a few days ago to look for a big surprise in the men's. That could mean anything. Oh, you're fine, Ariel. You're good. No big deal. As I said, I've told you guys in the private DMs and stuff. You just got to be prepared for anything, because I've told you guys they pay attention to a lot of stuff that's put on the internet. They will change stuff on a fly. It's just what they're doing. I've seen a lot of speculation online about Jey Uso. I don't know. I have a hard time believing he's gonna win. But it is an option that they can go forward with. But if he does win, I know a lot of people think that he's gonna go after Cody. I don't think so. I don't. I told you guys 2 weeks ago that there's still family stuff that's gonna go on with the bloodline, and even though we have seen Roman and Jey before, Jay's has a different character arc now. So if Jey wins, these people have been planting seeds in his head for a reason. So if Jey does win, he will go after Roman Reigns. So I will tell you guys that he's not going to go after Cody. I don't even know if Cody's going to be the champion at SummerSlam. There was some news that come out yesterday that I got that there's a possibility that we see a title change Friday. Gunther could possibly win the World Heavyweight Championship Friday. So that's not guaranteed, but it is an option that Gunther leaves Kansas City with the World Heavyweight Championship. And then I guess they could run a triple threat back at Night of Champions. I don't know. I don't personally think they're taking the title off of Cody before Night of the Champions, but Sammy's got a lot of heat on him right now, so they've been booking this up. It kind of makes you wonder about Randy, if Randy's healed up. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think they're setting up a triple threat. That was the original plan that I reported a couple of weeks ago, was Cody, Gunther, and Sammy at Night of Champions. So but I talked to my guy 2 days ago, and he said WWE is scratching the surface on Gunther winning the title Friday. So could Gunther go into Night of Champions with the title? Possibly. I don't know if they're going to have Gunther win the title and then lose at Night of Champions 2 weeks later. I have been told they are planning on doing hot potato with that SmackDown Championship, because You're gonna have the CM Punks. You're gonna have the Sami Zayns. You're gonna have the Cody Rhodes. You're gonna have Gunther, Randy Orton. There's a lot of people that's going to be coming for that title. So look for that title to get moved around a lot. The early plan was for Cody and Roman at Crown Jewel in October. I'm a Cody fan, but I don't like this. But there's a lot of backstage politics between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. They don't like each other. That's very apparent. And there's a lot of backstage discrepancies with those two about who's going to eat, who was going to eat the pin. And I was told that neither one of them want to take a pin for their next meeting. So I don't believe it happens. I think Cody is not the champion when it's time for a crown jewel. You could see Gunther or Sami Zayn or Randy Orton. I don't think we get Cody and Punk. Not yet. I think that's probably a WrestleMania match if they can't. The original plan was Punk and Stone Cold, but they are setting up a Punk Cody feud. But I don't know if that happens at SummerSlam. It's all dependent on Randy Orton. So we'll see what happens Friday. I don't think Cody is the champion in October. I don't. Because Cody does not want to eat a pin against Roman Reigns. So, and it's definitely both ways. Cody has his politicking and stuff like that. I don't really agree with all that. I don't like all that. But Roman Reigns also does not want to eat another pin from Cody, and I can't really say that I blame him. I mean, Cody is the one that ended his 1,300 days, so I get that. But there's a lot of political stuff with them too. So, I don't think that match is happening. If it could be way down the road. I don't think it's gonna happen at Crown Jewel. So, got a few comments. From Yankees girl, Roman and Javon will be fired. It's all about opportunities. It is all about opportunities, but it's too soon for Javon. He's not winning. He's 100% not winning this tournament. So I love Javon, but it's way too soon. He's not winning this tournament. I'd rather Roman versus someone who could be a perfect opponent other than Punk. Roman and Punk are not going to face each other again. If it happens, it's going to be at a Crown Jewel or at a long time from now. Punk's going to SmackDown. Punk's done with Roman Reigns. So same Ariel again. Well, Sammy. It is planned for Sammy to win the world title. So I don't know when it's going to happen. It could happen at SummerSlam if Randy's not ready to go, or they could put the title on him at Night of Champions. He's very popular over in Saudi Arabia. So worst case scenario is Sammy was penciled in to win the Rumble. This was a long time ago, but he was penciled in to win the Rumble and win the title in Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it might happen before that. Matt Cardona is not winning the World Heavyweight Championship. It's not happening. That's never happening. So the early plans, well, the plans the plans the last time I talked to my guy was Io Sky is still set to be the opponent for not yet Fanatic. I'm still doing news. I just had a few people in the comments. I'm not doing questions yet. So Io Sky is still set to be the opponent for Liv Morgan for SummerSlam. I don't know how they get there. Does Io win the tournament? It's a possibility. A lot's going to be able to be told from. I hate putting out information because I know that they're really Hawkeye on this shit. But I can tell you that Io was scheduled to win this whole damn thing. So hopefully they stick to that. I personally would rather see Charlotte and Io. That's the best wrestling match that WWE could put on for Night of Champions. But with Liv not defending the title, don't be surprised if Liv Morgan doesn't beat Charlotte Flair. Charlotte really doesn't need to win the Queen of the Ring to get a title shot. I've seen a lot of I don't know who reported Charlotte and Jade at SummerSlam. I guess it's a possibility, but I don't think that's a SummerSlam match. I don't. Unless Charlotte or Jade is the champion. That's the only way I could see that. That's really not. JC, it was reported about JC Jane and Rhea at SummerSlam. That was pitched. I don't think that's happening. I think it's too soon for JC Jane. So let's talk about the big elephant in the room, and that was Jey Uso winning the first round match at King of the Ring. It's no secret that Triple H and creative is not crazy about LA Knight. But I've also told you guys they do pay attention to everything online, and anything that brings them negative publicity, they don't like it. So I know Cody had a shit ton of YouTube dislikes. They see it. Whether they change it or not, that's all on them, but they see everything. It really just depends on what they want to do. If they want to change something, they will, but they see the negative backlash. Could Jey Uso win this tournament? Yes, he could. There's only two people that's winning this tournament on the men's side. I can tell you that is a 100% fact. There's only two people that's going to win the King of the Ring, and that's Jey or Oba. I honestly think Jay's winning it, truthfully, unless they pull some kind of swerve where Oba Femi gets taken out pre-match. I was told to look for something crazy in the men so they could have an angle where Brock takes Oba out before the match. And then we get that substitute, whether it's Drew McIntyre, that's definitely been discussed, a Randy Orton, or a CM Punk. Those are the three options that could be plugged in to the King of the Ring tournament. Due to an injury, we could see a Javon Evans taken out. Dom's not going to be taken out. This is Dom is one of the early odds-on early favorites to win the men's Money in the Bank. They are pushing Dominic Mysterio. I reported, I believe, a month ago. Fanatic would know. He's kind of been my mainstay here on this show. But Dominic Mysterio is losing the AAA Mega Championship at Triple Mania in September. And I put this out over a month ago, and I started seeing reports on it last week or maybe the week before. But I put that out over a month ago. That's still happening. Ludwig Kaiser, El Grande Americano, whatever you guys call him, he's winning the AAA Mega Championship from Dominic in September. Also, some news about Dominic's sister. She is training at the Performance Center. So WWE is wanting to do an angle. I don't know when this is going to happen. This could be months from now. It could be a year. We'll see. It's really up to Ray and when Aaliyah is ready. But WWE is wanting to run an Aaliyah and Ray versus Dominic and Liv Morgan over in AAA. So that is a match that is planned. Will it happen? I don't know. It is on the docket for sure. I've been told there's only two options for the women's Money in the Bank, and that's JC Jane or Roxanne Perez. Those are the two options that WWE is discussing for the women's Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio, and CM Punk are all three options for the men's Money in the Bank coming up in October. So, for Night of Champions, as I said, Tiffany Stratton will defend against Jade Cargill. Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes are going one-on-one this Friday on SmackDown for the number one contenders match. I can see that turning into a triple threat for Carmelo, Ricky Saints, and Trick Williams for the United States Championship at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. I believe we're getting another triple threat with Cody, Gunther, and Sami Zayn. Also for the Undisputed Championship in Saudi Arabia. My early predictions and what I've seen from what my guys said is we're possibly going to get a Liv EO in Saudi Arabia. That's where you could see Stephanie Valcour. I believe Stephanie shows up and costs Liv at Night of Champions. Then we could see Stephanie and Liv at Madison Square Garden at Saturday night's main event. That's not happening at SummerSlam. So they could change it and have Stephanie face Liv, but that match happened at WrestleMania. So I don't see them running a WrestleMania match back at SummerSlam. So I definitely think Io's winning the title because I know the early plans. I don't know the condition of Rhea, but the early plans were for Io and Rhea to face off at Crown Jewel in October, with Rhea Ripley being able to get her first singles win over Io Sky for that Crown Jewel championship. Now can that change? Of course. It's all due to injury, how Rhea's doing with the knee and stuff like that. So the only two options for the men's Money in the Bank is Obafemi and Jey Uso. There's been a lot of talks. Okay, I'll post that in just a second, Ariel. There's been a lot of talks about Obafemi, but Bubba Ray from Busted Open said something about Obafemi possibly facing Brock Lesnar night 1 and Roman Reigns night 2. I don't think that's happening. That is a way to build up one of your superstars. I don't think they're gonna do that. The only other alternative I could see is I haven't been told that any of the big championships are going to be on the line at Saturday night's main event in New York. So could they possibly run Brock Lesnar and Obafemi at Saturday night's main event in New York? It's a possibility. If Oba wins, that's when we're going to get the Brock matches in Madison Square Garden. They want bigger matches on that card. It's in New York. So we could get Obafemi and Brock Lesnar in New York at Saturday night's main event, and then Obafemi would move on to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I don't think that's happening. I don't think Oba's winning. I don't, because if they give Obafemi the title match at SummerSlam, he has to win, and they're not taking the title off Roman at SummerSlam. I can just tell you guys that ain't happening. I don't care what everybody says. I know I see all the pissing them on it online. It doesn't matter. They're not doing it. It's too soon. They have to have the story play out with the bloodline. So that's why I don't think Oba's winning. It's either going to be a surprise entrant or Jay's winning. But Jay's not challenging Cody. So I can tell you guys that right now. That's not happening. So, got a comment regarding the situation of any title holder. Some people defend it weekly, and in a PLE, some people defend it only in pay-per-views, and those never defend it but got 100 days. What would be your plan? My plan is that they need to. That's a good question, Ariel. I'm glad to see you're involved. It's a great question. So my plan would be if I had the pen, which I unfortunately don't, but when they put these titles on people, if you look at the whole Liv Morgan situation, this is her second title reign that they've had no creator for her. The last time Rhea was hurt and they were waiting for Rhea to get back. This time's the same thing. They put the title on her at WrestleMania because Stephanie Valcour, I love her. I love Stephanie. But her title reign was super flat because of creative. They just don't have that. We had to come to terms with WWE Raw is weaker when it comes to the women's division. SmackDown is way stronger. So for me, that's a great question, Ariel. But I personally, they need to have plans for these champions. Um, if you put a title on somebody and there's no creative plans for them, it makes them look like geeks. Um, that some of these champions look like geeks. I mean, that's what they look like. So it all comes back to the creative at the end of the day. They have no creative plans for these people, and it makes them look bad. You know, Liv's come a long way with her character. She's great. She has a great character. Is she the best in the ring? No, but she doesn't really have to be because her character is so good. But they have no creative plans. You can't put the title on people and just be like, "Oh well, we're gonna coast for 3 months." You know, Jay Cargill went 100 days without a title defense. You know, Liv Morgan is definitely going to get past 100 days before a title defense. So it's that's the problem, Ariel, is they don't have creative plans for these champions. That's something they have to change. If they don't, these champions are going to look like geeks, and people are just they're going to see more scrutiny online than they want to see. As I said, they pay attention to everything online, and they see all the pissing and moaning and all that. So, and another thing that they don't do well, you have to always have a plan B and a C, for in case someone gets injured. So that's definitely what I would do. They need to have a creative plan before they put the title on somebody, because they want the shock factor, which is great, and non-predictability, which is great when stuff isn't spoiled. But at the end of the day, you have to have creative plans for them if you're gonna do a big shock factor, if you're gonna do a big spoiler. I'm telling you right now, I think Brock Lesnar shows up tomorrow night. I wouldn't be surprised if Oba's taken out pre-match, and then we get a Drew McIntyre or a Randy Orton or a CM Punk. They're talking about it way too much with Punk, so that makes me think: is he gonna get put into this tournament somehow? Oba's not winning. I can't see it happening. Because they're not gonna have Oba Femi and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam and have Oba lose, and they're not taking the title off Roman. And I don't even know if Cody's the champion going to SummerSlam. There's so much creative stuff going on the SmackDown brand with Cody's title. That thing's going to be flopping around like a hot potato. So it's definitely difficult to say who's going to be the champion over there on SmackDown when it comes to SummerSlam. Got another comment from Fanatic. Liv's first title reign in 2022 was derailed because she wasn't the champion. They were waiting to give the title back to Ronda. That's correct. You got to prepare for backup plans in case the plan doesn't work. Absolutely. So let's talk about Sol Ruca for a little bit, and then I will open up questions for you guys. Sol Ruca, the early plans for her is they don't have a lot. We'll talk about a couple of call-ups after the Sol Ruca stuff, and a little bit of the NXT stuff, but doing to do with the NXT stars. Sol Ruca, the plan with her is we're going to see Sol Ruca defend the title more than we do with any other, not Penta's title. Chad Gable is I have to really keep up with my notes, but Chad Gable is set to win the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. He will be beating Penta for that title at SummerSlam. That is the plan. Can it change? Yes, but that's the early plan right now, is to put the Intercontinental Championship on Chad Gable. They're already I know they teased him on SmackDown. I don't know why they did that, but he's going to be on Raw. Sol Ruca's going to be infused with, she's going to be defending that title against the likes of Lyra Valkyria. We're going to see her defend against Bayley. There's just the women's roster on Raw is not as stacked as SmackDown. So Lola Vice is going to lose the women's NXT championship at Great American Bash. Can Kalani Jordan get added? It's a possibility. I don't think so, though. I think they're putting the title on Kendall. Because Lola Vice is scheduled to come up, but she's going to be coming to the SmackDown roster. Her Damian Priest is her boyfriend. They like to keep couples together, so I would be looking for Soul to come up not long after she drops the title at Great American Bash. Tatum Paxley may have another one, maybe another one match on NXT. Maybe she has a rematch at Great American Bash with Zarya. I don't know, but I know she's planning to come up. She will be going to the Raw roster, so you can look for Tatum Paxley on the Raw roster as well. There's just the creative is just really bad right now. But I can tell you that Javon Evans and Dominic Mysterio are not winning the King of the Ring. It's just not happening. Javon is great. He's phenomenal, but it's too soon. He's hasn't even won the Intercontinental title yet, so he's not going to be going for. I was listening to DW Radio yesterday, and Final Boss Baby she said it pretty well. If you guys go back and listen to them, her and Miami the Great yesterday on Talk It Up podcast on Spotify and Twitch, and it was on YouTube as well. They were talking about Javon Evans, and she said that's just not a main event match, and it's not. They're not doing Javon Evans and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. They're just not doing it. I mean, you guys got to start thinking with your heads. Whether you like the superstar or you don't, TKO is involved here, and they don't care if it's the older stars. It's about making money at the end of the day. That's the ultimate goal. And I'll say this again: just because somebody gets hate online, they don't give a shit about that. As long as they're printing money, that's all they care about. Now, will Triple H go in and change shit because of leaks? 100% he will. But they're not going to go, it doesn't matter how much people bitch about Jay. They don't care. He's printing money with them shirts and merchandise and stuff like that. So TKO is booking for money, not for the fans, not for social media, not for Twitter. I mean, I don't know. I've seen so many people arguing back and forth on X about this sport that we all love, and that's professional wrestling. And it's a scripted sport at the end of the day. And you guys are, putting out hate messages and threatening and all that and talking all this crazy shit. I've never seen anything like it. I don't stay online as much as I used to because Twitter is toxic at the end of the day. You need to get away and touch grass and see the world. When I don't have a stream, I'm not on. I try to stay off of X. It's just it's become a very unhealthy place, and it will suck you right in, and then you're going to be in a bad situation. I've seen so many friends that I met through here that, they've deactivated their accounts because they've just there's just way too much of the back and forth of, I don't know. I'm never going to change someone or ask someone to change. It's their life, but I don't get involved in it. It's not healthy. At the end of the day, this is professional wrestling. This isn't somewhere where you talk about somebody. I've seen people talking about the leukemia with Roman and people wishing him dead and wishing Cody dead. And, it's just so crazy. At the end of the day, these people have families and kids and wives. And, it's impeccable how people think and about a sport that we all love, that we're, gracious being, at the end of the day, you can be upset with the product and not like someone, but all the hate and stuff, the world is ugly. It's an ugly place right now because of all the hate. So we have to learn to stop with that. We really do. Even if you're the only person that does it in a group, you're leading by example. If someone else sees you doing it, maybe they do it. So everyone just needs, I used to get into altercations all the time on X, and it's not healthy. You have to just be the bigger person, and people are gonna have disagreements and misunderstandings and all that. That's part of life, but the stuff that I see on the internet, it's not healthy, guys. You have to lead by example. Somebody may not like you, and that's okay. You're not put on earth for everyone to like you, but you have to try to do your best to lead by example. If one person sees you turn the other way and not, get into a clapping match with somebody, I don't know. It's definitely wild out there. So always try to be the nicest person you can be, because you never know what somebody's going through. And talking about people's dying and all that, that's crazy. I've never seen anything like it in my life. These people have kids and families at the end of the day. So, but I definitely appreciate you guys coming in today. I will go ahead and open up the questions. As I said, we will be doing a Sunday Night Scoops next week. Hope to have way more information in regards to SummerSlam and Saturday night's main event. As of right now, Cody or Roman is set to defend the title at Saturday night's main event. That could change. I could possibly see Roman defending the title against LA Knight at Saturday night's main event, but that's not a SummerSlam match. So, I don't know what they're doing with the Roman Seth situation. They could go back to it, but I don't think that's happening at SummerSlam. So we're gonna go ahead. I'll go ahead and open up the questions. And once all the questions are done, we will get out of here. But I will be doing a Sunday Night Scoops next Sunday, but there will not be a Sunday Night Scoops on the 28th of June. As I will be doing the NXT Great American Bash recap. There will not be an LFG on the 28th either. So if you have any questions, make sure to get them in, and I will get to them. Ariel, I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Yankees Girl and Fanatic. I do see you in the comments. Before I get to the questions, if you guys are watching live on YouTube, please hit that like button. Let's try to jam the likes up for this show. This show has the most engagement out of any of my shows, so thank you guys for that. Make sure if you guys are watching live on YouTube, you hit that like button, because that definitely helps me out with my stream. And that's what we're here for, to help each other out. So, are they going to hold off the Tama Tonga split until after War Games? It will be like the slow burn of Jacob turn on Solo. Could both Tala and Tama turn on Solo past War Games? Yes. They're going to do the bloodline versus bloodline, so they're definitely holding off on that split. Yes, so that's correct. As of today, barring any changes or rewrites because of leaks, is the plan still Io and Liv in the final? Would you be surprised if Io won? I would not be surprised if Io won. That was the original plan, was for Io Sky and Charlotte Flair. Could that still possibly happen? Yes, but I highly doubt they're going to not have Liv in a match at Night of Champions. There's nothing for her to defend yet, because Stephanie's not back. So I'm thinking we get Liv and Io. Could we get Liv and Raquel? Possibly, but I think that's them throwing all their eggs in one basket too soon. So I don't think that happens. I think we get Liv and Io Sky, with Io Sky winning the women's Queen of the Ring and going on to SummerSlam to face Liv Morgan, and winning the Women's Raw Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Could Chad Gable apologize to Alpha Academy, and how does American Made react? I think Chad Gable will apologize to Alpha Academy, but Maxine's not going to accept his apology. I did forget to tell you guys, Maxine is in the mix once she turns heel and goes with the Vision to go after Sol Ruka's Intercontinental Championship. That is in the plans. Otis and Tozawa will probably forgive Chad Gable, but Maxine will not. What's next for Matt Cardona? No plans for Matt. Matt is, I hate using the word buried, but he is definitely He's just there to put people over. There's no plans for Matt Cardona. When will Dragunov be back? That's a good question. Dave put the report out that WWE only viewed him as a mid-carder. I don't think that's correct. I don't know what's going on with Dragunov. Could he be a mid-carder? Yeah. But you know, he was booked very strong in NXT. Had great feuds with Gunther. There has to be something going on with him injury-wise. But WWE's creative is shit right now. There's a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think that there's a strong possibility that the MFTs beat Damian Priest and R-Truth Friday and win those SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So you heard it here first. If you guys hear that, if you guys see that Friday, make sure to tweet out EVP Scoops. I believe it's happening Friday. Priest and Truth have had the title for a while. Will we see Praxia more on NXT? Yes, I was just talking to a friend about that. Praxia will be down in NXT. That they have to have something for the tag team division down there. I could see them doing something with the Andy Project, and again, WWE just doesn't have anything for them, so they have sent them down to NXT, and they are elevating people down there. So that's good to see. Could Romeo Moreno and Noam Dar go after NXT tag titles? They will, but I can see Romeo being a speed champion, and eventually going up to that NXT North American Championship. Could Royce Keys help MFTs win on Friday and join the MFTs in a civil war, realizing if you can't beat them, join them and help defeat Roman's crew? I don't know if Royce is going to help them. It would make sense, but Royce and R-Truth have been friends. He doesn't like Damian Priest. I don't think that Royce Keys is going to help them win, but I can tell you that Royce Keys is definitely going to join up with them before it's over with. Will I be surprised if Stephanie Valkyrie returns tomorrow? I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think they're going to do it. I could see her showing up at Night of Champions, possibly. Charlotte Flair is going to be, and Alexa Bliss is going to be in the house for Raw tomorrow in Baltimore, Maryland. I could see them getting a Charlotte. Charlotte's going to get involved with the Judgment Day, so we'll see what happens. Charlotte's not beating Liv, though. I just don't think it's happening. Are they holding off Javon Evans winning the IC title so Chad Gable can win it due to how Chad Gable got over after the Mass vs. Mass match? Yes. Javon is going to be big. He's going to be a big player in WWE. He's got really great backing from Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. I'm not discrediting Javon Evans, but they're not putting him in the main event of SummerSlam. You guys got to be realistic. This is TKO. They're not doing that. It's going to be Oba Roman, Jay Roman, or Seth Roman. There's no other options for Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. If you guys think outside of that, then you're delusional. I don't know what else to tell you. Is Brock going to cost Oba tomorrow? I know you said it, but I wrote this down before the show. I believe he will. I think there's a possibility Oba could be the one that gets taken out pre-match, or if they don't go with that angle and they have Jay win, then Brock Lesnar is going to cost Oba Femi. Is Jackson Drake set to win on Tuesday to set up Jackson versus Miles for the North American title at the Bash, where Jackson wins due to Tavion costing Miles? Or will it lead to triple threat? I think Tavion's going to win. Tavion and Miles is the original plan, but they could do Jackson. It could. You're right, Fanatic. It could end up being a triple threat. I haven't gotten much news on NXT lately besides the call up. I could see them doing a triple threat with Miles, Tavion, and Jackson. I do believe they're going to have Tavion involved. That's what I said over a month ago about Tavion. It's been 2 weeks since I talked to him. Nothing's really changed, or he would have reached out. Definitely Tavion's going to be involved in that NXT North American Championship. I believe he turns on Miles. Is there a chance Kalani snaps and goes ballistic on both Lola and Kendall, leading to a triple threat? There is a chance of that. If she is added to the match, she will win the title. But if not, Kendall Gray's winning the title at Great American Bash, and then we'll get Kendall and Kalani. Kendall wins. Will Kalani get first dibs? Yes. Yep. Could the Knockout Bros, Oscar and Yuta ICE from New Japan Pro Wrestling be targeted for NXT or AEW since they lost the IWGP tag titles? I haven't heard anything about those guys. Did Tiffany Stratton's live stream on Twitch with Blake Monroe plant the seeds for Tiffany versus Blake at SummerSlam? Yes, which is something that I said 3 weeks ago that was a plan. But yes, they started the build for that on Twitch yesterday. Is Jay versus Charlotte considered a non-title match? It's a dream match everyone has wanted to see. I don't know. It's been discussed, but I mean, for me, that they could do it because they want Charlotte on the card. She's great. Jade's great too, but it could happen. A lot of stuff is in limbo with the SmackDown Women's Championship because of Rhea Ripley's injury, so we'll see. Is Danhausen about to be pushed to the moon bigger than he is now that the Knicks won the title? Yes. Danhausen is the #1 seller right now, merch. Could Jalen Brunson be involved in a major angle at Saturday Night's main event at MSG leading to a SummerSlam storyline? Possibly, but I don't know. I think we could see him at Saturday Night's main event. The Knicks just won the title. Danhausen's involved with the Knicks. You could. I don't want to say no because this is TKO and they love celebrities, so I wouldn't rule it out. Are people sick of the MFT bloodline stuff and Vortex? People wanted it back. Now they're eating their words and regretting saying it. There is a lot of people that's tired of it. There is a lot of people that's tired of it. They want to see change. They want to see Roman Reigns defend the title. There's a lot of people that's tired of Cody. I personally am tired of Cody's character. I think he needs to go heel. I've said that for a while. But yes, people are tired. People don't want to see the same stuff, but WWE don't give a shit. TKO don't care. Whatever's printing money, that's what they're going to do. They're not booking, you guys know I try to be nice to everyone. They're not booking for any of you guys. They're not booking for me. They're not booking for any of these people on social media. So you can say what you want on social media. They don't care. If it's going to print money and make them money at the end of the day, that's what they're going to do. They don't give a shit about the fans at the end of the day. And once you guys realize that, then you'll have a different outlook on it. Are we about to see Keanu Carver go all out and show he's next for the NXT title? Yes, but I think it's a possibility Naraku wins at Great American Bash. I do. Will Tatum get her rematch before getting caught up? I think that's a very high possibility. She faces Zarya again at NXT Great American Bash. Something I said before she lost her title. I definitely could see that. Who do you think will eventually dethrone Zarya when the time comes? Lizzie, Carmen, Callie, Ren. Will Lizzie be Zarya's first feud? Lizzie Rain will have it be her first feud. Zarya's going to hold that title for a while. I was also told that WWE or NXT could be planning a Ren Sinclair heel turn. It makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like the Mega Powers back in the day with Randy Savage and Hulk, where they do, their best friend, Ren turns on her. I think it happens eventually. Is Zilla Fatu signing and debuting soon? We saw him in the PC. Yes, he's going to come, but I don't know if it happens. But I think it's going to be in the fall. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think we see him until the fall. Is NXT Heat Wave internally tentatively set to take place on the SummerSlam weekend? As of now, yeah, last I heard. Could AAA hold a stadium show in Mexico down the road? Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Are you happy that the women's U.S. title is finally being defended on a PLE? I am. I just think that it shouldn't have taken a Rhea Ripley injury for that to happen. Could Chelsea challenge for a world title or move up to the world title scene? I mean, she could challenge for a world title, but I don't know. If she's making a lot of money for the company, they will put the title on her, but I don't know if that happens right now. There's too many women on that SmackDown side, and there's going to be more once Lola gets there. Could we see 7 or 8 matches on both nights at SummerSlam? Early plans are at least 8 matches night 1 and night 2 of SummerSlam. Could WWE consider bringing back pre-show matches because a lot of people don't like 2 or 3 hours of nothingness before the PLE? I mean, they could, but I don't think it's going to happen at SummerSlam. Does Triple H love Raquel that he's pushing her, prepare for her to leave Judgment Day and be on her own? He does love Raquel, and he loves the Judgment Day. So don't be surprised if we get an all Judgment Day final. What big surprise swerve could happen in the King Queen of the tournament that could affect both? I'm ready. I do believe if they're going to do a big swerve, we could have a Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton or CM Punk come in for an injury, for somebody being taken out pre-match, and that's how you get the top star winner for the King of the Ring, and WWE tries to pull a swerve that way. Is Randy Orton coming back soon? That's the plan, but nobody really knows the injury status of him. That's why he didn't win the title at WrestleMania, was because he was injured. So Bronson Reed is coming back. Bronson Reed's coming back soon. Sheamus is due back. Kevin Owens is due back as well, and Randy Orton is supposed to come back, and Drew McIntyre as well. So Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton are in the creative plans for SummerSlam. So that makes me think something's going to happen in this tournament. They're not going to have – I can't see anybody that's left in the tournament going to SummerSlam to face a Roman Reigns or a Cody Rhodes. So do you like how Lyra's over with the fans, that they still woo? Are they going to start focusing on her single run with Bayley? Lyra is going to be involved with Sol Ruca for a little while. She's definitely still over with the fans, so that's definitely good to see. I do think Bayley will end up being the one to take the title off Sol eventually. It kind of comes full circle for Sol. That was her first win when she beat Bayley. So do you think that one day in a few years there will be a time where WWE will have to move on from Roman and Cody? Yeah, they're gonna have to move on from now. If they don't, this company is gonna go under. They're still so much in debt, it's crazy, but they're getting all these media rights deals, so they are printing money, but with all the stuff that's went on with BKM, looks like that stuff's gonna be dropped. So, but they've had to pay out a lot, so eventually they got to turn the page and start pressing these young superstars like the Brian Breakers and the Jacob Fatus and the Trick Williams and the Carmelo Hayes and the Oba Femi. These guys have got to be on the main card with the titles, but until they, until these people are not printing money anymore, they're not going to change. It's just a proven fact. Are they going to treat Julia right now that she just turned face and capitalize on her and make her look like the NXT version she was? I don't know. I'm not going to go that far with it. But hopefully they do right by Julia. That's really all I can say about that. Will Ray Phoenix be on SmackDown more now that he's AAA Cruiserweight Champion? It looks like they are gonna have that title defended on AAA and on SmackDown as well. Possibly could see that title defended on NXT. Don't be surprised if you don't see Ray Phoenix defend that title on NXT. Is Oba Femi set to win the 2027 Men's Rumble and face Roman for the title at Mania if Rock Roman doesn't happen in Saudi? Yes. That would be how we get Roman and Oba. I don't know when they're doing Seth. They could still go back to it. We could get a Punk, Cody, and a Seth Roman at SummerSlam. We'll see. The way they had the bracket set up, they had to swerve. So it's really difficult to tell which way they're going to go. Oba's not winning this King of the Ring tournament, though. So, because Stephanie versus Liv happened at Saturday night's main event. I know you just said it, but I had it written down for the show. I believe so. I do believe that would be the play for Saturday night's main event. TKO wants the money marquee matches, like you said. Roman and Seth is that match. Yeah. As I said, they could go back to that because there's not anybody left in the King of the Ring right now that's a marquee match for Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. Let's just be real. They're not, besides Oba, and I don't think Oba's winning. So there you go. Look for a big, huge swerve in the men's King of the Ring. Does WWE and TKO, Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro still want Io versus Rhea at Crown Jewel because that's a money match? Yes, I said that earlier. Could Rhea be okay by SummerSlam? I hope so. I don't have the specifics on that, but I hope so. Will you start trying to get more NXT and AAA? Yes. I will reach out to my person on NXT. I don't have a AAA stuff, but I will work on that as well. But I can get some more NXT news when we do scoops next week, before we get ready for NXT Great American Bash. Would you be surprised if Dom wins? I would like to see. Dom's not winning. I can tell you that right now. That's not happening. But he is an early favorite to win the Money in the Bank. But I think the main card is going to push him after he drops the AAA title. You could see possibly Dom win the Money in the Bank. That would really fit his character well. Stampede said that in my chat. Shout out to Stampede. I agree. I think that Dominic winning the Money in the Bank would be really fit his character well. But Dom's not winning the King of the Ring, and Dom's not facing Roman Reigns. That's not a SummerSlam match. Could there also be an angle involving the Queen of the Ring tournament similar to the King? There could, but I think they're going to let that play out, Fanatic. I do. Would be surprised if Lola retains at the Bash, but then loses the title in NXT after Bash, similar to how Stephanie retained at Battleground and then lost the title to Josie on the Tuesday after. I mean, it's possible, but they can't keep having Kendall Gray lose. It's time to strap her. It's time for Kendall Gray to get belted. She's the best woman on the NXT roster, and she's 6 months to 12 months, maybe not even a year away from being ready on the main card. She's phenomenal. Could we see Pod Tawik, the Saudi wrestler, WWE signed back in January and promoted to Royal Rumble NXT? That's a possibility, but I haven't heard much about him, truthfully. Could we see more debuts and returns at the Great American Bash? You're gonna see a lot of debuts and a lot of returns in NXT. They got to keep that with them going to CW for the PLEs. They got to keep that. That's why you're seeing the Natties, the Fraxiums on NXT, because they have so many people come up, and then when you get to Lola and the Kalani and the Tatum Paxley going up, they got to supplement that on the show. So, go see Nikki Blackheart. Yes, she's coming soon. What other matches are planned for Night of Champions aside from the title matches and the finals? That's all it's going to be, is title matches and the finals at Night of Champions. Could Brock versus Gunther be back on for SummerSlam? If Obafemi wins this tournament, which I don't think it's happening, but if he does, then Brock and Gunther could happen at SummerSlam. You do Brock Oba at Saturday night's main event, and then you do Gunther Brock at SummerSlam, because I don't think Gunther is going to be the champion going to SummerSlam. Why don't we see world title defenses on weekly TV a lot more often? That's just not TKO style, man. Cody's had 3 title defenses on SmackDown. But they're not gonna do a whole lot of TV title defenses. Why doesn't WWE have more backup plans and mini feuds for champs that can happen on a weekly TV or B tier PLE? I don't know. That's what I was telling Ariel earlier. That's where they mess up. Yankees girl. Since that Gunther versus Cody match has happened in Missouri, wouldn't that be a good chance to see Randy come back? That is his home state. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. He's from St. Louis. Not he is from Missouri, from St. Louis, not Kansas City, but it's an option definitely. But they're not doing Randy Cody non-title. I don't know. Could we see Randy or Punk come back at Night of the Champions after the triple threat? That's a possibility. I just don't know if they're going to put gas on Sami Zayn yet. So it's interesting to see. If he's not back by Night of the Champions, then something seriously wrong with that situation. So yeah, it's definitely a possibility. You could see him. You know, it is one of the pitches is for Cody to drop the title, but I don't know if they're going to do that or not. We'll see. Do you wish for non-title feuds to me more frequently? Yeah, non-title feuds are not bad. I don't mind them. Are you surprised that Triple H is starting to treat Gable better than in 2024? He don't have no choice at the end of the day. It's TKO is making the call, but yeah. Would you be surprised if Soul gets in the Judgment Day vortex? Because I know how creative it is. Don't be surprised. I would not be surprised if we don't see Roxanne or Raquel challenge her for that Intercontinental Championship. Could Naraku win the NXT title at the Bash? Could Mason and Cam get involved? I believe we're going to see some funny business, but I wouldn't be surprised if Naraku wins that title at Great American Bash. Is OTM versus Vanity Project set for the Great American Bash? And that's when OTM will win the titles. I'll ask. I got to get with my NXT person this week. OTM is definitely set to win the. Last time I talked to them, OTM was set to win the tag titles. I don't know when that happens though, and I will ask about Hiromu Takahashi. I haven't asked. I will ask this week, and I'll have it Sunday. Sorry about that. I have it. I put it in my notes. Do you think there will be a time where TKO WWE will have to turn Cody heel? Yes. Yep. CM Punk return on July 6th in Chicago. That's the plan. That is the plan for Punk. What are they doing with Johnny and Candace? They got to get out of there. They're running some kind of angle with Johnny, Candace, and Sammy. It's the long game Triple H loves to do. So we'll see more Evolve call-ups to NXT. Yep. People being called up from Evolve to NXT. Yes, you will. Because we're going to have some people go up from NXT to the main roster. If stars want to get pushed, then start selling out merch. That's correct. That is correct. Could Kit split from Miz? Yes, you're going to eventually see them split. With New Day and Mercy Machine Guns going to AEW, they are both going to AEW. What does that mean for Private Party? Both guys are out with injury, and they return. They'll be done. I've seen somebody report that they could be going to Ring of Honor. Could we see Ricky Sosa in NXT? Is he in line for a big push in TNA? He's going to be pushing TNA. He's definitely going to have to do something eventually because TNA is sinking. Mike Santana is definitely coming to WWE. I don't know if he's going to be on the NXT roster or the main roster. And then they also have one other superstar on TNA that's either going to go to AEW or WWE, being courted by both companies. Could CWE holding a big PLE in New York City next year, perhaps at Yankee Stadium, to capitalize on the Knicks? I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Could Creed Brothers and Ivy now move to NXT for AAA? I could see it. I definitely could see it because they don't have anything for them on the main roster right now. Could Charlotte and Alexa cost Raquel? Yes, they could. I think they get involved. I do. Could the Cullen turn on Spears and then disband as Nico and Izzy go on their own? That's the plan. I think I told you that last week. When will Sheamus and Kevin Owens return? I missed them. They are both due back. I don't have specific dates, but they are both due back really soon. Sheamus and KO. Sheamus before KO, though, I believe. Missed them. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Could Drew or Punk win the U.S. title and become Grand Slam champ? I don't know. It's possible, but I don't think so. Not right now. Maybe when I get close to the end of their contract, possibly. Could Ethan Page challenge for a world title? Yes, but it's going to be a while. Could Roxanne leave Judgment Day? That's the plan. I don't know how soon. Do you think fans should just give up on LA Knight wanting to win the Money in the Bank or world title? Yes. Unfortunately, they need to give up on LA Knight. Could Jada be called up? She's eventually going to be called up, but not at this present time. Will the Lucha Brothers reunite in AAA? One day. One day. Will Becky get a rematch for IC title or is making a move to other feuds? I think Becky's going to take a little bit of time off. She likes it. She's got a baby and stuff, so I could see her maybe taking a month or so off. She could go back. She could have one more match with Soul, but I think that she needs to be in the world title picture before, because her contract's going to be up. Could Leon Slater go to AEW? Leon Slater is being courted by AEW. And they also didn't let him break that record, so that's not a good sign for WWE. Could the Knockout Bros, Oscar and Yuto, be targeted for NXT? They could, but I don't have I'll have to ask my guy. I don't have any answers on that. Last thing, could we see 9 to 10 matches per night at WrestleMania in Saudi? Because the Saudis love to go big and have more matches. Other than that, thanks for another great show. See you next week. I don't have an early word on how many matches are going to be at WrestleMania, but Saudi Arabia wants to go all out, so I would expect a bigger card for WrestleMania. Or you could get 8 to 9. That sounds about in the ballpark, yeah. Also, one more thing I forgot to mention. Could Kiana be in a big push? Other than that, thanks for a great show. See you next. Kiana James is set for a big push. Yes. WWE, TKO, and they all love Kiana James. All right, guys. That is it for this week's Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. Once again, thank you to everybody that is watching live here on the EVP show on YouTube. Please hit that like button on my stream. That helps me out in the algorithm. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And there's Michael, Uncle Mike. I think Lib as champion in 2022 wasn't that bad, but the vacation made it worse. So shout out to Ariel, Yankees Girl, and Fanatic. Thank you guys for coming in. And once again, I am going to be doing a prediction show June 24th here on the EVP show. We are going to be predicting the AEW as well. As the Great American Bash and the Night of Champions. So it will be an hour and a half stream. But we will be predicting all 3 PLEs. It will be June 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern. I have 4 or 5 slots available. So make sure you comment on that post. If you are in the comments listed under the numbers, you are listed to come on. I will be updating that tomorrow, trying to get that filled up. And also, there will be no Sunday Night Scoops or LFG on June 28th, as that will be the NXT Great American Bash recap show. We are live on my X and my YouTube, as well as DWE Television's X page. Make sure you follow DWE Television page on X, as well as Miami the Great and Final Boss Baby on Talk It Up podcast on YouTube, DWE Television, and DWE TV on Twitch. Make sure you follow them because their DW Radio is live every Saturday. They were live yesterday. They're on Spotify as well. So make sure you follow them and always give them a listen on Saturdays. They put out a great show every Saturday. DW Radio and Miami the Great does the Inside the Mind with Miami on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where he gets you ready for the NFL season. And me and Miami will be back at the end of August, beginning of September, with the NFL weekly recap shows. We will be getting that started back up at the end of August and beginning of September. And we're about 15, 16 weeks away from the NFL season starting. Also, Kyle the Man Anthony and the World of Greg will be live an hour before Raw starts tomorrow for the rundown of the Monday Night Raw card. Make sure you follow both of them and tune in to the rundown on Monday. And Kyle the Man Anthony will be doing his new show on Wednesday night, The Queens of WWE. I believe it's at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you tune in to that, as he will be talking all the women's stuff on SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and possibly AAA. everything affiliated with WWE. New show coming on Wednesday. Make sure you tune in to that. Also, The World of Greg. Follow him on X, as well as After Slam Podcast on X and YouTube, Smoke Session Podcast, and Sports Jedi Network. With that being said, guys, thank you guys so much. This has been the Sunday Night Scoop episode number 22, live here on the EVP Show, Sunday, June 14th, 2026. I will be back shortly to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up tonight and the rest of the week.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, Show Recap Prediction Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports.
Thanks for coming to Sunday Night Scoops, hosted by the Golden Boy of DWE, CJP. See you all next Sunday at...
Thanks for joining the EVP CJP. Tune in next Sunday at 6 p.m.
Thanks for coming to Sunday Night Scoops, hosted by the Golden Boy of DWE, CJP. See you all next Sunday at 6 p.m.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP episode number 22. Live here on the EVP Show, Sunday, June 14th, 2026. If you are watching live on YouTube, please hit that like button on the stream so we can try to get the likes up as many as we can get for each stream. As far as where you can find me on my social media account, they are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. But if you're looking for me on X, you can find me at EVPCJP. You can follow me. If you do follow me on X, you can go all the way up to the top of my X page, and my YouTube page is pinned at the top of my Twitter page. You can hit that retweet button, share with your friends and family. And if you enjoy this daily wrestling content, send it to your friends, people that you think want to come in for, even if they want to come in for Sunday Night Scoops. It is for you people to come in and ask questions. I have opened it up to the public for the people on X, people on YouTube to come in and ask questions about what is going to happen with WWE, NXT, TNA, and AAA. So definitely do that. As far as Instagram is concerned, you can find me on Instagram at EVPCJP. That is where you will see all my videos from my upcoming streams made by Miami the Great and the World of Greg. Follow me on Instagram. On TikTok, it's at Brady the Goat 21. Again, that's at Brady the Goat, at BRADYDA Goat 21. You can find all my videos as well as the ones that's on Instagram. last but not least, most importantly, please hit the like and subscribe button to my YouTube channel. If you aren't able to find my YouTube channel on any of my social media platforms, you can find it. If you go to the search bar in the top right hand corner, you can find it. It's at the EVP Show. Please hit that like button on the stream. And if you already subscribed, turn the notification bell on. You will be reminded when I go live. What I have coming up for the rest of this week, which is today, and the rest of this coming up week. Tonight, I will be back at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for LFG Season 3, Episode 8 recap show. It's always a shorter show, so come in and tune in as we go over everything that happens on LFG tonight, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night, I'm back. As the Raw is back in Baltimore, Maryland. You can catch me live at 11 p.m. Eastern for the Raw recap show. And then Tuesday night, I'm back at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT recap show. Wednesday, I'm off. Thursday, you can catch me live at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the TNA recap show. Friday night, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the undisputed title. Let's talk about the fallout from WWE SmackDown as we head to Night of Champions. Tune in Friday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap show. Saturday, I'm off, and come back here. Next Sunday will be the last Sunday Night Scoop for the month of June, because there will be no Scoop show on June 28th. So come tune in next Sunday for Doubleheader Sunday again, the 9th Doubleheader Sunday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP episode 23, and then later that night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for LFG Season 3 Episode 9 recap show. And remember, it's June the 28th, Sunday, June 28th. Saturday, June 27th, I will be live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Night of Champions recap show. And then Sunday night, June 28th. There will be no Sunday Night Scoops or LFG Season 3 recap show. I will be live later that night when the Great American Bash goes off the air. I believe it's at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday night for the NXT Great American Bash recap show. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. Come back and join me at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for LFG Season 3 Episode 8 recap show. And if you can't come back tonight and join me for LFG, I will see you guys tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time for the WWE Raw recap show. See you guys later. Have a good night.